is here.
Nice.
Ready to go. I'm excited.
So what are you going to do right after?
Nothing.
Will it help in your current job?
No, not really. I just switched jobs last August. I switched from Experian. That was on Bethany and 75.
Uh-huh.
And now I work at PepsiCo, which is at 120 or Dallas North Tollway and 121.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
No problem.
I'm trying to think of, I know somebody that works there. Do you know J.S. Johns?
I do, yeah. He works at Frito. You know what? I don't know if he works there anymore. He worked for Frito-Lay, which is part of PepsiCo either
He
way.
did.
Do what?
He does. He's in our ward. He works on the Walmart team now. So he goes up to Fayetteville every week.
Cool. No, he's a good guy. He teaches the family life merit badge for us every once in a while.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He was actually my high councilman back in 2004 when I got back from my mission. I lived up in Durant, Oklahoma,
Uh-huh.
and he was our high councilman that would come visit us. And me and him went to the same mission, so he talked to me a lot and all that. So, yep, know him extremely
He's good.
well. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's in our bishopric now.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Okay. So, this is basically our agenda for the next couple weeks. That's why I didn't make one for this week. So, Mark, I got your note on the navigation. I'll get that changed. And I was going to do it, but I was at the PAC meeting. My boy got his bear award tonight, so we both wanted to be there for that one.
That's not a problem.
So I'll get that up tonight, though, before I head to the church to do security check.
Now, there are some things on that I think that each of us probably have questions on in each of our sections, but it's really about the initial shell or frame that loads up.
Yeah.
And then the menus that show up or that you drive to. And so guys think about using teal on the menu flap when you have to press the call it
Using what on the menu?
changing the color from the salmon or the red.
Oh.
Just toying with the idea last night late, just kind of playing around with it. And just thinking, we've got red and black for the most part, and then you throw red into the menu. Ideas or thoughts, what you guys think about. Because we don't use teal anywhere but the heading.
A little bit.
To break that color now. The colors do work together, I believe, from the color wheel. Jan and Tiffany, you might have a better idea on colors than us.
So I think if you use like a teal that's trending towards a green, more of a robin's egg with the reds nicely, the shades of red that are in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, it's an app that really doesn't matter.
No, but it's eye grabbing,
And that's the thing is, when you look at because really what we're looking at is the mobile app, right? That's going to be the key to. I mean, the design is mostly for the mobile size.
Yeah.
And I don't.
So I understood it.
What's that?
Understood it.
Right. And so when you look at that app, it's on our phones. If you've launched it on the phone, which I'm sure everyone has, it looks good on the phone. But when you press the menu a lot, and so I didn't know if we feel of some sort, and it did a little bit more transparent, not so strong. What you're, if that would be a different. I didn't know what your thoughts were.
No, I actually like that idea.
So that part that would move in from the left there?
When you press,
Yeah.
when that moves in to change from find to save,
Mm-hmm.
that would, you would change that color to a teal.
So are you thinking like the part that says menu would still be the red and then down below would be teal, or the whole thing teal?
I think you probably have to change the red too on the menu.
Okay.
Because I don't think the red and the teal, I think meshing right together like that would be
I think
strong.
it'd be too much to have a both
Yeah,
there.
I think you have to, what the thought was, maybe put a teal where the menu is, a solid teal, and then transparent, much like the salmon, the red is on the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's transparent. So you just take that color and create a transparent. So it just makes a little bit more of a teal look when that comes open. And that way you wouldn't have as much red. And that's the only thing, as I looked at it, I thought it looked really good red because it's striking. But I just thought it'd be good to throw that out into the group and see what everybody thought from a color perspective.
Yeah, I like the idea.
It doesn't really.
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Oh, you changed it, I see.
I was gonna say, because now the saved and the finder teal already. Did you just do that, Olin? Change the colors on them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things that I was looking at is, it's just more of a personal preference. When I hover over something, I like it to change a color instead of underline.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be nice to change, and it would change with the red because it's a little more striking. You can see it for sure. So if you hover over which one you want, you know which one you're clicking on.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking of is if maybe we wanted to get I know Olin earlier in the semester created a GitHub. If we started uploading our stuff to that GitHub so we can kind of see what each other have done and the most up-to-date information that other people have put in there. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts about?
I'd have to get mine to work.
Or do we just want to keep doing it where we're just sending it to Olin like we are right now?
It's really, how do you feel about it, Olin? I mean, you're the one that has to update it.
So I'm good with GitHub. GitHub is definitely, the whole group has to use it or you end up botching
Fair
it.
enough.
So that's why I didn't really mention GitHub, because I wasn't sure how everyone was comfortable with it. I'm very comfortable with it. I use it quite often, but for this project, and since it's such a short period of time, I just didn't really want to drive it.
Okay, well, if you want, Olin, the most up-to-date stuff that I put, actually I did put up on the GitHub. So I just put up the a couple of the images in the image folder and then also the index. So if you want to grab that.
I think the key is going to be to just make sure we email them just to Olin and say, hey, Olin, here's where the update is.
Okay, that'll be great.
That way it should be good.
So here, I'll share my screen and show you what I have for my... Just wanted to get your guys' input to see what you thought needed to be added on top of this. Oops. Wrong one. There we go. So basically, I just used the information that was already there, but I've created additional ones under the saved. I just had it so we could select different ones that we've saved in there. And then what do you guys think about having like a random feature? So like ones that you've saved in there, you can just select random and it'll go through the ones that you've, because one of the things for me is I always have my favorites, but I can never decide which one to do. And so you just click on it and it'll just pick one of the ones for you that you've already saved.
So you're talking about a saved search, right? You're talking about a saved search. Okay. I'm good with that.
I mean, I don't think it would be too hard to do a quick random function in JavaScript for that.
I'm curious if the browsers normally will save a lot of the fields for you. So if we want to overwrite that default behavior, we can do it. But otherwise, so in the cuisine, well, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where this is in the page. So there's going to be, so do you want all of this in a single, you want to get rid of the menu? Because it looks like you've got the find and saved on the same page.
So I based it off of,
as well as your
I mean, we can put it into a different page altogether. But I was basing it off of kind of what you have on your personal project. And I noticed that they were on the same one, but just hidden, and they would just pop up and be changed with the JavaScript. Is that how we wanted to do it, or did we want to just basically have it open up another page? Because I can change it to another page really easily. And that might actually be easier for the purpose of our programming.
No, so we can't do multiple pages. That's a requirement of this project. It has to be a single page. But the reason why I said, because if you look here, the way it's currently done, if you try to scroll to the bottom, actually, let me change it to a mobile iPhone 6. So there's just the find portion here, and there's nothing there. And then you have to click to go to the save. So it looks like a second page, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we can change it to one long list of a single page. That's fine. I don't care.
Well, I don't know how to actually
I just want to make sure if that's the way we want to go.
So I need to get with you, Olin, and figure out how to hide these so that they're being navigated to like you have there.
Well, the thing that, I mean, when you go to save, especially when you're on the mobile format, you're not going to be seeing that as saved or anything of that nature, correct? Is that
correct? They're separate panes.
Yeah, so I need to figure out. I need to get with you and figure out how to change them into the
desktop. Yeah, so if you just look at the code that's on the page that's out there, this link right here I've got is the public one that you all have access to. There's a JavaScript in there that does all of this for you, that changes these from inline to hidden and all that.
It's all there.
So
yeah, I mean,
none of the code is hidden right now. If you have every access to the code that I have. Just because it's on my server and on my desktop doesn't mean that you guys don't have access to it. It's all out there. It's not like PHP where portions of it are hidden in server side.
But it doesn't mean I understand exactly how everything is working.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of want to understand is, what are we saving exactly? That's also
what I needed to get to you guys and figure out. So right now, I just have it basically. I was thinking we would have it so we save the restaurants that we like, and then once we're in the saved one, we just go through and select what restaurant it is, and then it would pull up what I have down here for this third section, which would be the restaurant information, the phone number, the hours that it's open, whether it's open now, and then if there's data for it, a menu. It's kind of what I was thinking.
Should we not have an address in there?
We can definitely add an address. That information is readily available in the API.
Then you can have it guide you to it.
So you're talking saving specific restaurants, not saving searches, like.
He wants to do both.
I was thinking kind of a. So on the saved, are we doing like save like save Chinese, and it'll pull up automatically all the Chinese places? Because that should just be in the find, I would think. You just go
Yeah.
burgers.
Find.
Yeah.
Saved, you would kind of do the ones that you like, and it would just have a place that you can just go through and select your options.
Right.
No, I agree. It would be the restaurant that you identify in a given area. What would be neat is if it would show the location of that restaurant too, though. Because what if you're in different cities and you have that? Is that easily available to us?
Like if you hit Chick-fil-A and you're in Los Angeles instead of Las Vegas, it would pull.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if it was right next to it, it just had the city and state or something. At least the general information you would know.
Yeah, so,
well, I can't go to that one. Or it would sort based on location. I don't know.
yeah. So there is a geolocation that I had mentioned to you guys earlier that it would pick where you are, and it does a radius search. So if you look in the find portion of that app, let me show it to you. So you have your cuisine, and then you have miles. So how far away from you do you want to search? So it's not going to bring up the Las Vegas
place. Okay.
No,
Chick-fil-A.
that's true. But if you're in the saved function of that, if you go back to the saved view.
It's on his page.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the saved one on mine, if you look at it.
If you go on the saved and you click on that, all you're seeing is the restaurant. So you don't know where that restaurant is, if it's in Vegas or California or Texas, you know.
So I guess for saved, I was kind of thinking locally, but I guess we would want it for traveling as well. But the problem is when you're traveling, you're probably not going to be saving them as ones that you're regularly going to want to go back to unless you're specifically looking for like large chains.
So, I mean, we can change this, but the whole purpose behind the saved was a restaurant that you liked. And so basically it would just have a link for all the different restaurants that you liked. And when you clicked on those, it would bring up a modal form, kind of like how this is going to take a while because, again, I'm recording and it takes forever for this thing to do anything when I want it to when I'm recording because I/O is out the wazoo. But when I click on an event in my personal app, it brings up what I did for that. And that's kind of what I'm wanting the same, or what I'm thinking we would do for the same thing here. Of course, I don't have anything. Let me record it real quick. But you would click on it and it would have a specific
good car.
Okay, record added safely. So now when I go to the journal, I have an entry here. And when I click on it, see it brings up all the stuff about that. We'd have the same kind of modal form that would come up that would say, okay, the restaurant's name is this, the opening times are this, it's open now, here's their address, here's the reviews if you want to see it again.
That definitely is a good way to do it. The only thing I was thinking is, I guess when you say something, you're going to have a general idea of where it is anyways, right? But if that gets a little bit long,
yeah, hopefully,
you might start confusing some of the locations. Let's say you have two of the same restaurant locations in different areas. You know, if it's that, just simply on a second column there, you know, the city that it's in, then it would identify it just that much more, so you know which one to click on.
Yeah, we can do that. And it would just be like a table. I don't like using tables in HTML, but you would have a table in the saved area that would have this restaurant, you would keep appending to it. And like you said, it would just have the data there.
So basically what you're saying, Mark, is you'd like to have some way to identify, let's say you go to, for me, Idaho Falls and Pocatello, there's a chili in both. I want the information for the Idaho Falls, for the information in Pocatello. I would be able to identify that, basically.
Right, and so if you say Freddy's is right there, and you just have a second column in a table that just said Pocatello, then you know out of those two, because they're probably going to sort together. I would imagine we're sorting these based on the name of the deal, but it would just make it a little bit more clear where that is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we can do that.
Then it brings up that modal form that we just saw, which would be awesome. That would be cool. But is that easy to get that data, where it's located, to put on that saved menu?
Well, the API is, the
it's part
API,
of
whether
Google's
I'm sure
place.
it's in Google 100%. I mean, the address is just right there
Right.
as part of the API. You just need to have the information in the field for it.
Okay.
Yeah, if Google didn't know where things were, I'd be pretty PO'd at Google, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be as big as they are.
So I was asking earlier,
So,
like I said, does Google have menus of like restaurants and stuff?
In their maps, in Google Maps, they often
so it's
do.
only
Like
if they
when you
upload
pull
a
up a
picture.
place in Google Maps, it'll have an option to view a menu. And I forget where the menus are always serviced from, but it says menu from something, and it's a menu service, like that the places upload their menus to, I guess.
So it's an API that's Google is using.
I think so.
So
How about we just validate and go in there right now? Culver's, that's a good place. Let's see.
Oh,
Come on.
I had Culver's tonight for dinner.
Now,
I've never heard of Culver's.
Oh, Dan, you're missing out. It's the best
It's
frozen
a small
custard and burgers.
We'll have to introduce you,
You're
Dan.
missing out on pounds. That's all.
That I'm not in short of.
That's about all you're missing out on. No, it's good. It's really good. We go there. We've got one about like 2 blocks away from us.
We've got them all over. I think the first one that opened
is
is
probably the
20
one
miles
that
away from me, like where they started.
photos. I mean, if they post a picture, that's usually what it is. You'll see a picture in there of, I was hoping to see, there we go.
We won't have.
But normally people will post a picture of the menus, like see right here, there's one, but it's.
We may not have time to show burgers.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So basically, we just need a.
But I don't.
Is it possible to have 2 APIs or
I don't think
reference
like
another
the one you're
API?
talking about.
That would just basically be the menu section?
Yeah, it's easy to do that. You just have to figure out what, since they don't use the same ID system, because like with this one, this Culver's right here, Google has an ID specific to their system tied into it. So if you tried to search, let's say that, what's the name of the service you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah.
Zomato,
Zomato.
Yeah. So if you tried to search with the ID, Google's ID to Zomato, it's not going to come up. So you'd have to have enough identifying characteristics to make sure you got the exact place.
Okay.
From the other service.
So I guess the question I have is,
other than that, you can always
do we really
polls.
need to be able to put the menu and everything on this app when
Nope,
you're finding a location and you've got the menu right there that they've already got? So if you pinpoint that particular restaurant and you click on, it brings up what you're seeing right here on the screen. We really don't need to add the menu to it if we're going to drive into that, would we?
Or ordering out.
Well, I'd say if you want to end up, I'd say we get to the point and we've got plenty of time at the end of this project.
Then add it.
Then we can add it.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think let's point to this where they can go look at it, and then if we have time, we can modify it to make it look prettier and have more built into it.
Okay, so basic
I
information.
wonder how Google gets your location out. I mean, that's only one house off. How does it do that? I don't think my laptop has a GPS sensor in it. That's crazy.
Well, on the computer, wouldn't it have an IP locator?
Really surprised how accurate
Wouldn't it pull it from the IP address?
But how does it know exactly the house that IP is tied to?
Are you using your neighbor's internet?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't pay for my own internet. Paying for your own internet's for losers.
Awesome.
No, that's definitely weird. Oh, well, either way. But yeah, definitely we can add that in. That's definitely a good idea. But let's see if we can get the main stuff in, and then we can
Okay,
expand on it.
perfect. So for the HTML section, I'll just basically have these as individual sections where they aren't showing up with each other. And then we want address. The other information looks good though. Whether they're open now, what the hours
Yeah,
are,
address would be good.
and then the phone number.
Yeah, I'd say the phone number, address, and hours is good.
So I can give you all the code that how this site works right now, because the way it works, so this div right here, it's labeled ID as find. So anything in these in here is on the find panel is what I call it. I just don't know the correct term for
That's
it.
fine.
And so that's how it hides it, is it uses JavaScript to do all that. Here's the save panel. There's nothing in there except for that header. But anything you add in here, it's just, it gets hidden. So it would work just like it does right here on the example page. So I can zip that all up to you and send it to you.
I actually can just grab it from I actually grabbed most of it from the web page itself as is. So like this right here, what I have is just the information that I copied from the web page that we have up there right now.
Yeah, and I was able to pull them all down and copy them into files. So I created a local thing so I could play around with it.
Yep, that's what I did.
Okay.
And then as we go along, whenever, like each week, you just copy down the newest version and overwrite the version that's on your local. That way you're always messing with the newest version at least. Or
so if we're not doing GitHub, so we're not like just going through. Here's what I did for Jen at least, and maybe if Olin could be the only one that maybe updates this or something, but I'd like some place to be able to grab the most up-to-date code that people have sent. So for example, I just have the index here, and then I just have the different files that are here, and then she can just grab it and do it. Could we do something like that, just has those, or just have Olin update this information up to GitHub, and then we can grab the most up-to-date information. I'd just like to be able to play with the most up-to-date information that we have when I'm working on stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll do whatever you guys want. You can either grab it from the website as it is. I can upload it to GitHub, or I can zip it each time and put it here in our Google Drive.
What would work best for everybody else?
I don't care.
Well, the Google Drive is very accessible. It's pretty easy there. If it's all in, I mean, what are you just going to put the HTML files and the CSS files and all that in a folder the way it's structured automatically?
That's how it is here. So the index file is here, and then it's structured. The links are going to the CSS. Links are going to the image, the JavaScript.
The links.
So basically, the index, the links here, the file structure is the same way that the links are going to recognize.
Yeah, I guess I'm not seeing, because something's just not moving. I just don't see where you're...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong screen. My apologies. I'm explaining what you're not looking at.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, I don't see what you're talking about.
So right here I've got the index file, and then I've got the CSS file with all of the other, the fonts, the normalized, the style sheet.
Uh-huh.
And then the images are up in this one, and all of the HTML links are linking to the file structure that are already in here.
In the index.
Yeah.
So that's on our Google Drive?
So you remember, Mark, when I was talking to you on the phone, and I told you you'd need to create an assessments folder?
Yeah.
You remember, how I was telling you that link structure? Because I'm using absolute, or the absolute links. So it's looking for /assessments.
Oh, I got all that to work fine.
Here.
Whoops.
And I'm sorry, I can't zoom in on the bar.
I didn't mean to grab that.
So he's wanting, it actually has this plus the CIT 261 group. He wants, the way he's got it set up, you don't need any of that. You could pull this all out like that and just be like that. So that's, yeah. That's the one problem with having this as a folder, because we'd all have to have the same folder structure to get to this and to be able to copy it over. Otherwise, we just have to basically have to create it in the root folder and have a different name, or create a totally different website with a subdomain. I mean, I could do that. I've got access to create another subdomain without any incurred cost.
It wouldn't be too hard just to create a assessments file folder and then just put everything else in there, though.
No, that wouldn't be hard at all.
All we would do is just make sure that the file that Olin has, that on the Google Drive references that, and then we just copy the file structure as Olin has it, and that should make it so it works the same way. If we all grab the same files and start working, so if we send Olin everything we have right now, Olin compiles it and then puts it on Google Drive with the assessments folder, or however as long as we're all doing the same thing, it'll work just fine. And then we all grab it, and then that's what we start playing with, because the links will be correct.
I mean, I can always create another subdomain for whatever. Doesn't take very long, and that way we don't have to create that folder structure, because the zip file is not going to show that. So. Oh, what's the name registration? I can deal with this later, but I'll basically just I'll just create another subdomain, and that way I'll have it in the root, and I can change all the links so they don't have the /assessments/ whatever, and I can keep all my the site that it's on right now the way I want it. That way you guys don't have to create the folder. Oh, here we go.
So Olin, I'm just sharing that file that that folder. That just has the most that I was working on. So if you want to grab that, and then whenever you just let us know once everybody's is updated, we'll just grab it from there.
Yeah, normally it wouldn't take that long, but it's. Good. Oh, dashboard. add the DNS here. Sorry, normally I do this at the beginning of the semester, and I don't have to worry about dinking around with this, but this wouldn't. Smoke. Come on. Go. I've got things, all my stuff is managed out of my home network, my web server and all that junk, so I have to do a little bit more finagling to get everything working. But
Yeah, I want to get a server set up actually myself.
I guess I don't quite understand why we need to create another menu structure like this when we already have one. What could be different?
I'm just making it simpler so you guys don't have to create assessments / CIT261- group whatever. So there, you guys can just go to CIT261.allthingsnetwork.org and see what's there instead of having to go through all the different links. And then when you upload it to your sites individually, it should work, or however you guys want to change it. So that way, one person's doing work instead of everyone. So it won't take me very long to do this and make all the changes and be good. It's better to just have me do it than to have everybody else do it. Come on.
So while he's working on that, I guess just for me, for the HTML section, I just need to, we've got most of what we need on there, just need to break them up, and then also have a section where we have the a third one with the actual menu section, I guess. Not menu, but restaurant information. But I'll get that done today.
You mean a modal that'll pop up and show for that particular restaurant you choose, or?
Yeah, so basically when you go in and do find, you click on it and it'll go ahead and just pop up the actual restaurant information that you've selected. Yes, I need to put in there a place to save the restaurant that you like.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if you could just do the save right then and there on that, on what it pulls up. If you like it, you go, okay, save.
Yeah, so what I was thinking actually, just as you were saying that, is in the find section we have the cuisine, whatever, we pick it, pull it up, and then it brings up all the different options that we have. Mm-hmm. And then once we go into the actual restaurant, in there just have a section to save it. And then that'll just import the same information into the saved section.
Right, and then when you go to the save view, you're seeing the list of all the saved restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which then again would basically bring you to the restaurant view.
Correct.
The same as find basically.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so basically the find and the saved side, the only difference between them would be the search form. Otherwise, down below it, they would have basically the same tables, not the same information, because the saved one would be the stuff that you liked from the find page, and the find would be the results from your actual search. But they would look identical. When you were on find and you clicked on a restaurant, it would bring up a modal with all the details inside of it. Just like the find would, or the saved would, when you saw, or you look through your list of set favorites, you click on it, bring up the same modal. But on the find page, it would actually have at the bottom, probably like a little star. Kind of like how, the way I was thinking of it is like, see here on the favorites page, see right now it's an empty star, but when you favorite a page, this one for some reason isn't favorited. Either way, but when you click on it and favorite it, it turns to an actual star like that.
Yep.
So that way you could see if it's saved or not. See if I delete this one. Oh my gosh, come on. Tell you, I cannot wait till I don't have to record anymore. There. See, when you delete it, now it's back to an empty star. That means you didn't save it or it's not saved, one or the other. So see if this works. It should, if everything was done right. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I have all the links are different now. That's one thing we were trying to avoid. Ugh, leave me alone. Rid of that. On.
When you sent that, Mark, I was originally thinking I was going to go to something about pizza. Because the guy's name is John Papa.
Papa John.
I dyslexiated it.
There we go. Missing an image here. Background. Oh, duh. Change this as well. There's a broken image at the bottom. What?
Yes.
Tomorrow is Friday, correct? Tomorrow is Friday, correct?
It better be Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, no joke. I didn't work all week just to have another work day after that.
Tyler says hi, everybody.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Are you bored?
Right.
Me? I actually came down to figure out car arrangements for tomorrow. Not really realizing Mom was in the middle of something.
You
Sorry, we're waiting on Olan.
you got all the car keys? Is that what you're asking?
That's what he's asking, yeah.
Oh, I can just take the car keys.
This a hot date or what's going on here? This like a hot date?
No.
How old is he?
21.
21?
Listen, you need to go to work tomorrow?
I like your shirt, by the way. Did you get that in Vegas?
No, we got it at Walmart.
Oh, you did?
No, I could probably come up with a great story right now on how I won the shirt on the slot machine.
No.
You could make it up because of the M&M factory there.
He's never been to Vegas. He wouldn't know.
Our boys used to go play hockey tournaments in Vegas. That's the worst place to go to.
My brother used to live in Vegas, and there's a lot of cool places to go visit without having to gamble.
Outside of the strip, it's really a pretty neat place. But they played right close to the strip there, the tournaments.
Okay, so it's uploaded to our drive now, and it's all the links, so it would be in the root. So if you go to CIT261.allthingsnetwork.org,
Okay,
it should
awesome.
work. I think. Let me try from my phone. I've only tried it internally, but it should work outside too.
Olin, is it
Yeah,
the zip
it
file
works
there?
outside too. So sweet. Yeah, the zip file's
Uh-huh.
in the final project folder. It's labeled CIT
And that's just what you'll be
261 group
updating,
project.
basically just replacing that zip file.
Yeah, as we get to a specific release where things are working and people have thrown in chunks of
Perfect.
information that work. So I'll just be a manual GitHub for now. Just don't want to deal with the
It's actually
GitHub
where
because some
Vagrant
people
comes in really, really
aren't
handy.
used to it,
Installing
familiar with it.
Vagrant. It creates a really quick virtual site. Yeah, right
Virtual
on
host
your
on your
computer
desktop,
there.
yeah. Definitely very helpful. That's what I deal with. Since I can't connect to my web server from work, I do it in the Champ at work, and then when I get home, I just upload my changes.
What is it that you use,
thing.
Mark?
Vagrant.
Vagrant?
Yeah, it's a pretty neat little product. It's free, but you just, I don't know it well enough. I have a good friend who's been doing programming all his life, so he's
by HashiCorp.
He discovered it just recently, started using it, and it's pretty popular out there. Actually, it's starting to get pretty popular.
Is it the one by HashiCorp?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, play with it, and then what you do is you just put that in the root of your folder, and you run it, and it creates a virtual machine for you automatically through and it sets it up and everything really quick, and then you can just start running run your site. You just run your website right to it, so you can bring it up. I got to restructure mine. I messed it up. I deleted a file, so I got to re-download it.
Crisis averted.
Are you saying you found a ride, Jan?
Huh?
Are you saying you found a ride?
No, we worked out how we're going to adjust my car. My oldest son took one of the vehicles with him to go away for the weekend.
Uh-huh.
So that means that the car Tyler would normally have available is not here.
Well, he can sit around and do nothing for the weekend. Come on.
No, he wants to go practice dancing.
Uh-huh. All right, get him out of the house. That's good.
Yeah. So he's going to take me to work in the morning, go do what he's got to do, and then come back and pick me up.
Good. The juggles of life.
Yep.
Well, I guess,
So,
the question I have is, Chuck, once you get that part done and that's displaying, what do we need to do on the program? What's left to do outside of, I mean, the program seems pretty simple in that respect, but just looking it over, it's really displaying those things, making sure that everything looks proper, is structured right. But isn't that pretty much the crux of the program, Olin?
So the stuff we have left to do is getting the actual back end portion to work. So like here for the form example, we need Java in here to, let me show you where there's a field. I'm still not sure if it probably needs to be two fields, but there's a hidden field here for location. And it probably needs to be the longitude and latitude since that's what it requires. But there needs to be JavaScript that updates that. And it might not even need to be a location. You might just have it as a field that it updates, a variable, I should say, that it updates every time this runs. And based off that and the miles and the cuisine and the cost, all these different things, now you need to tie a function to the search button. So when you click on it, it'll actually take all that data, go out to Google, make the API call, and then come back. And then you need another function that displays the data down here below or wherever we decide to put it. And there's so many functions that actually do the actual work behind it. And then when you click on saved, it'll actually have a table here that one's the simpler side, which is where I had actually it'd be easier to pull up this JPEG here, because this is the drawing that I referenced in our documentation. So when someone clicks on saved, it goes to load the restaurants, which pulls the data from your local storage. Display restaurants is the one that actually updates the table or whatever we call it, where the restaurants are displayed. And then if you actually click on a restaurant, it'll show it in that modal form. And then you can click the close button, or you can click the delete restaurant on this side because you might want to delete it. And this is all the stuff we have to write. We've basically just done the skeleton for all these things to use to display the data that they're going to massage and create and search for us. So next week is the busy week. This week was really the easy week.
So Olin, I'm signed up for a function that's called find links function. What is that? Like, I get what the saved links function is. That'll call all the saved links, right? What is the find link?
Yeah. So that's probably already, this is already done. So I probably should have said which ones were already done. Sorry. Come in. Come on. And I'll explain what it does and why we have it. Here it is. So basically what it's doing is first it closes the menu because every time you're going to do this, it's going to have the menu open first. So all it does is it takes the find panel and changes its display attribute to inline.
Oh, okay.
And then the saved, it changes it to none.
I get that. That's
literally all it's doing. And then there's the find one, which is this portion. They're not really functions. This is attaching all the events to all the find links that are out there. So anytime it finds, so up here I do the find links. So I get the class, get the elements by class name, and they all have find link attached to them. So there's two different find links. You'll see here there's two menus. There's two navigations. One's the normal one for when you're in desktop mode.
Yep.
Notice its class, it has find link. Now there's the mobile menu that has find link as well.
Okay.
And that's just how you do the flip between, so here, we change this to response. So this is the mobile menu part of it, the HTML behind it. And then when you go to responsive, which is larger, here's the menu. Notice the other one's gone.
Okay.
So this is the desktop menu. But that way you can it finds those two find links, whether it's this one or it's the one in the mobile menu over here. And it attaches the event to both of them. That's all it's doing. So that way they both call the same function. And it does the same with the saved. It's got the same thing behind it. Their class is saved link. And I just search for all the saved link, which basically what it does is it returns a array. And so then that's why I have the for each. Well, I do a for with a for loop. So I can reference each individual one and attach the event to it. So, yep. So this is literally all the only thing we have. I left this one here because it was It was helpful in my other one, and it was also actually I had to use it for
Oh, it's like a skeleton. Is it
here
like a skeleton of
in the
like one to reproduce, kind of like a?
yeah, I can use it over and over. I give it an element, and I give it what class I'm looking for to see if it has it in its attributes, and it'll look for it. And if it does, if it has it, then it'll return. Let's see, greater than so a true or false. It's doing a check here. If it doesn't have it, it'll have a -1, which means false.
Okay.
So it comes back as a false.
So in order to finish a lot of these functions or the different saving, etc., what are the main components we're searching for to be able to do that? Is that what Chuck is writing?
So he's writing the HTML portion of it this week, the basic display of the data that we find. Now each of these, if you look in the pseudocode in here, there's in the UI planning with the pseudocode functions. You can go into each of these. The links will work. Come on.
And we should be naming them those things in particular.
There. I guess I didn't finish that one. Oh, I know why. I was going to, because I hadn't really gotten into the API yet. That's the only one. It actually uses Google Places API. Dang it, I forgot that one. Oh, well. I can finish that one. I think I signed up for that one anyways. Yeah, I got that one in display restaurants.
So for the form validation.
But this is the pseudocode, so whichever one you signed up for
the form validation, is that like I need to go in and write the, where it checks to see if it's got information in it and stuff, like in the fields? Okay.
Correct. Okay. It needs to validate. Yeah, so this one you just need to make sure it's not select cuisine, the default attribute. This one you need to make sure it's a number, a positive number, and a whole number. I guess, do we care if it does fractional?
No, I think we should just keep it as whole numbers.
I would say whole numbers.
Yeah. So that's 2 checks you need to do here. Yeah. First, that it's positive and that it's whole numbers. This one, there's really not a check to do. I mean, because there's nothing they can really manipulate. Yeah. It's always going to be a value we need. It's either 0 over here on the cheap side or it's 4 on the expensive side, which follows Google's API thing for the cost.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had the right idea with that. So
yeah. So those are the two. Those are the 2 you need to check. Just make sure it's not select cuisine here and it's a whole positive number here. If you need a reference, just to see how I did it, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying this is how I
works.
Cut that open.
For sure it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, it's pretty good. I put a few things into it.
Yeah. I just don't like that it does the local storage. If I had the option, I would have this stored on a local database, but I'd do an API call to store the data. So that way it's still a single page, but I can do an API call and save it. But I had to do local storage, so I'm like, meh, whatever. Where was it? Add vehicle. All right, so here it was. So basically I'm checking to make sure the mileage had to be, this is the exact same check. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't empty. I wanted to make sure it was greater than 0. And then I wanted to make sure that it was a whole number. Yeah. So I had to parse it as the float because it comes in as a string. So you had to parse that string as a float so you'd get the points. Because what would happen is if I parsed it as an integer, it would truncate anything after the dot. So it would validate fine. So someone would put in 1.1 and it would think it's fine and use it. Yeah, it was stupid. You parse it as a float and you do the divisor by 1. And if you do the remainder, if anything divided by 1, it's going to have the whole numbers are already taken. And if there's a point, whatever, it has to, it needs to equal 0. But in this one, I'm having it not equal 0, so I can set my errors and set an error class on the actual field itself so it goes
I see.
red.
Huh.
Let me show you what it looks like.
Cool.
So 0.1, I put that in. Let's just hope it works. I would suck if I did all this and it didn't work. So please fill in all fields, and see it says here's the error. So I change it to 1. Actually, I need to higher. So now it's added successfully. So it checked that one fine, and if you leave it empty too, fill in all fields, these should all go red. So I think I had the same, maybe it was different. I think it was different here because the way this one was, they were contextual. So if I clicked on this one, say we go further down into this. So let's say I changed my mind. I wanted to add another vehicle. I'd change the year. It'd have to reset all these. And let's say I got the wrong make. I'd have to select something different. It would change all the, it's different. It's not identical to what we would want. It has a lot of the same checks, but if you want, you could always check into what's there. At least one of them's easy. I think the other one was fairly easy too. I just can't remember. There's so many lines of code here. I've got what, 700? Almost, yeah. So, either way.
The meeting was Tuesday?
Tuesday, I thought.
Excuse me. Okay. Or Wednesday? Wednesday. Wednesday and Friday.
It's Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, let me check. I think it was definitely
No, it's Wednesday.
I think it was a Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Because I think Monday, or is it Wednesday? Okay.
Because Thursday wasn't going to work because of the anniversary, right, Mark?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless y'all want to talk to my wife.
Wednesday and Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Wednesday,
Sounds good.
same time. And Friday, same time. Oh, crap. I forgot word camp out.
You have a camp out on Wednesday or Friday?
Yeah, for the ward.
On Wednesday?
I can still join on the phone at least, and we can talk.
On Friday.
No, on Friday.
That'll be fine.
To live in an area where people would camp in March, huh, Jan?
Oh yeah.
I think we're getting. I think we're
do it year round
right now.
That's definitely not here.
Hey, it was 72 today. Come on.
Yeah.
I want to go where he is.
Yeah. Get with the times. We're almost in spring now.
Yeah, I gave up cold weather camping a long time ago.
Oh. Yeah, no, the coldest I've camped in was 17 degrees, and I won't do that again.
I don't know how
That's
cold
not
it
even
was,
really
but I've been
cold
snow
for you
caving
guys.
once, and that was a blast.
Snow caving was always the thing when I was growing up, and here it'd be like snow caving. Just go out in your backyard and dig a cave in the backyard. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, well, I better go. My kid has 8 St. Patrick's Day shows tomorrow starting at 6:30 a.m.